Hi everybody, this is Ryan O'Donnell. I'm here making a video tutorial for you, training about how to be able to do a strategy called divided image. I'm a social studies teacher and I've used this in my AP World History classes at the 10th grade level, but I've also used it with a lot of different social studies teachers in different trainings, and I also think it also can be used in any class, like a language arts classes, in terms of analyzing images, looking more at detail, particularly strong use using primary sources. We do a lot of that in social studies. And so what the strategy is it focuses your students to be not necessarily look at an entire image, but to focus on individual components first, and then kind of be able to take those steps and make those inferences to ultimately kind of see what the big picture of the whole thing is. And I'm doing this in PowerPoint, so I'm going to show you a strategy about how to be able to do this technique in PowerPoint. So I'm going to my next slide here, and the next slide you can see is totally blank, and what I've done is I've taken the picture and I've cut it up. And so I'm going to show you an example here and kind of walk you through a short version of it. In the bottom right corner, I'm going to reveal a piece of this picture. You can see by the rest of the black that this image is going to be much larger, but I'm only showing you one particular piece of this. Now you're unfamiliar, I haven't given you any context or clues in terms of what this picture is, and you can do the same with your students. So in here you could ask questions about basically what do you see before making any inferences. And you see the first thing that you notice is there's a man holding a rock or going down and picking up a rock, and there's another image over here of a young child running in without shoes, and another guy over here with his palms up, and it looks like there's some confusion going on. So you ask the students, what possibly things do you think he could be confused about? Why would a child be running? He's running off camera, he's running from outside the screen, he's looking up, so it looks like possibly there's some confusion going on. Ultimately, you can assume that there's something else possibly happening over in, here, some action happening. And then ask the kids, okay, do some inferences about what is the reason for a man to be picking up a rock. And don't give any right or wrong answers when I do the strategy. Just listen to sort of a brainstorm approach. And also look at, we have very little clues about where this is taking place or when it's taking place. And so we can see there's a sidewalk over here, and sort of a rubble cobblestone, kind of like a rubble street area. Some garbage, some timber here, and it looks roughly like this is men are wearing pants and work clothes, so we can kind of have to start guessing about when this is. The next one I'm going to do is reveal more of the image. And now we look up top, there's more people coming to this action up here. And I ask the students, what do we see in the upper corner here? And there's a building of some sort, and again, same sort of idea. Listen to all your answers. Most of them are probably going to assume that this is some sort of a factory building. We can get the clouds in the background, sort of the smog starting to give us the idea that this is maybe of an industrialized place, a city. The hats are interesting to be able to notice, maybe possibly the occupation that some of them have. Under the next piece that we reveal, much more of the scenery develops. We definitely see that this is a city, a landscape which is barren of a lot of vegetation. More people are coming in, and now we have two new characters here. The two new characters, we have a guy here in a top hat and somebody else dressed in a jacket and a tie, in a very different style building. Ask the kids, what is this building and what's the purpose of it, and why do you think it looks very much different here? Ask the students to hypothesize who do they think this particular person can be and who this one is. And then the final step is revealing the last piece, but having the students make some guesses about what the ultimate thing could be. When we reveal the final piece here, we can see a lot more developed. There's a crowd that's shown up, and we have three different sort of scenes that are happening. The man we saw before with the top hat is having a conversation with this guy in the red shirt, who appears to be pointing to the group, and it appears some sort of conflict. He's got a guy behind him with his hands on his hips, and it looks like something is about to happen. Ultimately, the name of this, and we can kind of see a hint here, the author's name was Robert Kohler and was written in 1880, was painted in 1886. And this shows an event that's happening. I had the kids hypothesize, what do you think this could be? It appears to be something with the factory. This guy has something to be responsible, and if we're guessing, we can probably say he's the factory owner, and there's some sort of conflict that's happening. And ultimately, we get to the name of this, and the name of this is, it's called The Strike. And then we also have two other, the final scenes. We have this couple right here, and a fantastic scene of, most likely, assuming that this gentleman here is kind of wanting possibly to join this resistance, and It appears like his wife is possibly trying to stop him, focusing on, hey, we need to take care of our own family, not risk losing your job. And then the final scene is this big vacant space over here, and a woman and these two kids. And we can talk about later strategies, but I like the idea about putting call-outs on here, which you can do in PowerPoint, and I'll show you in a second, about what she possibly could be thinking, and who is she associated with. Is she with this guy, the leader of the strike, or is she possibly with him? Most likely not, but lots of guesses in terms of doing this. This strategy is relatively easy to do, and like I put in my notes, I think it's really important that you would have this thing cut up as well and have the kids have a piece of it. So I'm going to show you how to be able to do this in any particular one. Let me show you here, if you do westward expansion, this is a great one in which you can do, and it's called Manifest Destiny. I'll show you how to do both of them real fast. So here's the strike. I have the painting and a title, and all I'm going to do here is, you don't actually have to cut the picture, you don't have to Photoshop or crop or anything. In this strategy, I'm just going to go up to Insert, click on Shapes, and I'm going to grab a rectangle, and I'm going to think about what do I want to disappear first. So I'm going to highlight. You remember what was in that first scene: the boy on the left, the guy picking up the rock, and this guy with his hands up. Let go there. It's sort of the default color. I'm going to go to Format. I'm going to change my fill. I want it to make it look like the background, and the outline also black to make it look like the background. There we go. And here's this image. Now, we often in PowerPoint talk about animation and how things come in, but watch if we show under my custom animation. If you don't know how to get to it, you go up here to the left. You go Animation, click on Custom Animation, and then an effect. We usually have things come in, but if you do an exit animation, I'm gonna pick a random one here. Let's do Faded Zoom, and it goes away. Now, so I've inserted an image, then I changed the format, and then I added the animation. But in a neat little tip here, if we simply copy this particular shape, and then I paste that shape, guess what's going to come with it? It's the shape with all the formatting, and if you notice, here's one, here's two. It copies all the animation with it as well. So I just need to now layer this wherever I want. I like using the same color as the background because then you can overlap and it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to do the same. That's our second one. Now I'm going to paste a third time. There's that square. I'm going to change the shape of this one up to a rectangle. And we'll do one more time. Paste for our fourth one. And cover that up. And there we go. And then the final piece is I'm going to take that title. I'm going to animate that. I'm going to say, I want this one entrance, not exit, entrance. And let's do a faded zoom there. And so I'll put the whole thing into the slideshow, and we can see there's our first piece, there's our second piece, third, fourth, and then our title. Relatively easy to do, and a great way to be able to students sort of look into more in depth. Let me show you this last image here, this one on Manifest Destiny. I'm going to continue. I'm going to copy that same piece that I had before, and here I'm going to paste it. So I'm thinking in this one, this is about westward expansion. And so this first piece, I'm going to show about, some farmers in a stagecoach. My second one I'm going to do up here, I'm going to show the bridge and the horizon of what was back east. My third one, I'm going to paste over here in terms of this. Let's do the darkness. Let's go down here. The Indians, the stagecoach, and these other. Individuals sort of going across to the west. And then our last one I'm going to paste. I'm going to do the darkness. Not the last one, I'm sorry, because I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to do this here. One more. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do a different shape. I'm going to go to Insert, Shape. This time I'm going to do an oval. Make an oval much larger, like this. And do the same thing I did before. I'm going to go to Format, change my fill, change my outline, and change my animation. Let's have that thing exit, faded zoom. There's some gaps over there, so if I because it's all black, I could just cover those up like this. And now I'll show you this particular one. Put this into our slideshow, and piece number 1, piece number 2, piece number 3, piece number 4. And here you can see we get a real context of kind of what's happening before we see that final element of the image, which is this overwhelming idea of called the Spirit of Columbia, of moving west. And you can see she's bringing the telegraph wire with her and the stagecoach, and bringing education to the great unknown of the Wild West. So anyway, that's called Divided Image. Feel free to share any ways in which you've used it or think that you can. You can put a shout out on Yammer and let the rest of us hear out. Thanks for listening, and we'll look forward to more tutorials in the future. Bye.